Hi, this is Mike again. Today I wanted to share some information with you about hackers who successfully penetrated 21 U.S. liquid natural gas producers just before the Ukraine invasion. In mid-February, hackers gained access to computers belonging to current and former employees at nearly 24 major natural gas suppliers and exporters, including Chevron Corporation, Cheniere Energy Incorporated, and Kinder Morgan Incorporated, according to research shared exclusively with the National News Organization. The attacks targeted companies involved with the production of liquefied natural gas, or LNG, and they were the first stage in an effort to infiltrate an increasingly critical sector of the energy industry, according to Gene Yu, Chief Executive Officer of Los Angeles-based Resecurity Incorporated, which discovered the operation. This occurred on the eve of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, when energy markets were already impacted by tight supplies. Resecurity's investigation began last month when the firm's researchers spotted a small number of hackers, including one linked to a wave of attacks in 2018 against European organizations that Microsoft Corporation attributed to Strontium, the company's nickname for a hacking group associated with Russia's military intelligence service. The hackers were looking to pay top dollar on the dark web for access to personal computers belonging to workers at large natural gas companies in the U.S., which were used as a backdoor into company networks. The researchers located the hackers' servers and found a vulnerability in the software, which allowed them to obtain files from the machines and see what the attackers had already done. Some of those files were shared with the National News Organization, providing a rare view into a live hacking operation. They show that in a 2-week blitz in February, the attackers gained access to more than 100 computers belonging to current and former employees of 21 major energy companies. In some cases, the hackers compromised the target machines themselves, and in others they bought access to specific computers that were already infected by others, offering as much as $15,000 for each one. The motive of the operation isn't known, but the timing coincides with broader changes in the energy industry that have been accelerated by Russia's war. I believe the attack was carried out by state-sponsored hackers, but I don't want to speculate further. It was believed that the hackers' actions as pre-positioning, or using the hacked machines as a springboard into protected corporate networks. For that kind of operation, computers belonging to former employees can be just as valuable as those used by current workers, because many companies are slow or fail to cut off remote access when someone leaves, he said. LNG is a form of super-chilled fuel that can be shipped nearly anywhere in the world by tanker. Demand has soared in recent months amid tight winter fuel supplies and the build-up to Russia's invasion of Ukraine on February 24, which has rocked the energy market and caused Germany and other European countries, which are dependent on Russian gas, to seek alternatives. In the months before the invasion, the U.S. became the world's top supplier of LNG, and almost 2 out of 3 cargoes sailing from its shores were heading to natural gas-hungry Europe. Out of the roughly 5 dozen U.S. LNG cargoes on the water on Thursday, March 3, 2022, nearly 2/3 are headed to Europe, where the Russian invasion of Ukraine and low storage inventories are driving up prices and demand. Germany, which is Europe's largest natural gas market, said in response to Russia's invasion that it is expediting the construction of 2 LNG import terminals. This is a major change, as it represents the first time Germany will import LNG. Germany also halted the certification process of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, a system of natural gas pipelines from Russia that is completed but not yet operational. Germany moves to buy 1.7 billion of LNG as war threatens supply. It's not clear whether the attacks are directly related to the invasion of Ukraine, but Resecurity said the hacks began about 2 weeks before the invasion, after U.S. officials had urged critical infrastructure operators to adopt a heightened state of awareness for Russian state-sponsored attacks. Recent tensions around Nord Stream 2, global market changes, as well as conflict in Ukraine are obvious catalysts. The infected machines appear to be a mix of home and corporate-owned computers. The distinction has become essentially meaningless with the rise of remote work, as hackers have the ability to hijack virtual private network connections into corporate networks. According to the documents provided by Resecurity, the companies whose workers were affected include Houston-based Cheniere Energy, the biggest U.S. exporter of LNG, San Ramon, California-based Chevron, a major oil producer that also owns and operates the Gorgon LNG export terminal in Australia, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania-based TQT Corporation, the largest natural gas driller and producer in the U.S., and Houston-based Kinder Morgan, the top natural gas pipeline operator in the U.S. and the operator of the Elba Island LNG export terminal in Georgia. At Kinder Morgan, the data showed 7 current and former employees whose computers were hacked and were being accessed as part of this campaign, and whose corporate email addresses and passwords were stolen. A company spokesperson said the attacks were on personal computers and that stolen passwords were associated with personal accounts. Additionally, the spokesman stated that no Kinder Morgan computers or passwords were compromised. At Chevron, the number was 45 people, according to ReSecurity. Chevron declined to answer specific questions. However, a spokesperson said, Chevron takes the threat of malicious cyber activity very seriously. They indicated that they have implemented the United States government's recommendations into our cybersecurity safeguards to protect Chevron's computing environment. At an investor conference March 1, Chevron Chief Executive Officer Mike Wirth said that cyber attacks are the biggest risk facing the company. It's a never-ending challenge out there right now. He stated that they were in a high-risk environment right now from a cyber standpoint, and we're in an industry that is a high-profile, high-value target for bad actors. So that's the thing in the short term that he probably would say is the risk he worries about the most. Cheniere declined to comment. An EQT spokesperson didn't return messages. However, Chief Executive Officer Toby Rice told Bloomberg TV that cyber attacks targeting the company had gone up significantly since the start of the invasion. The attacks come at a time when the FBI and other federal agencies are on high alert. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center has issued dozens of alerts over the past 6 years documenting attacks by Russia and other state-sponsored hackers against targets including the oil and natural gas industry. The agency is concerned about increased attacks following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In a normal day, prior to the invasion, the U.S. could experience attacks from Russian entities. However, the FBI expected that the invasion may escalate in terms of volume or the number of attacks and the manners in which they attack. The files shared with Bloomberg identified each of the hacking group's victims. The information includes their corporate email addresses and passwords, and the internet addresses of the infected computers the hackers can access. Many victims are mid-level employees, in occupations ranging from information technology staff and control system engineers to research scientists and managers. These hackers demonstrate the risk that our infrastructure is under and how easily state-sponsored hackers can penetrate the networks. It also gives us a better understanding of the leaks in the current system. With more and more workers working from home, it increases the exposure all companies have to bad actors. At the same time that our enemies are training better hackers, we also know that more and more countries are looking to take advantage of our technology by stealing from our corporate entities. So why should this be important to Christians? Our freedoms will be taken away as these bad actors penetrate the security of the United States corporations and our military. Technology has become fully integrated into our infrastructure, our daily lives, and also our biblical resources. Just like the left has penetrated our school system to teach ungodly ideas like sex education, socialism, Marxism, and gender identity, they have also taken over our universities, seminaries, and many of our churches. With the advent of technology, it is much easier to develop material and propaganda to assist in the indoctrination effort. Can you imagine what bad actors could do, if they hacked into our book publishers? Many of them have already been taken over by ownership and many of the old publishers are now publishing books that speak against the Word of God. We must support developing the strongest anti-hacking measures in order to protect the little resources that we have left. If you want to learn more about how technology and the internet are being used to bring us closer to a one-world government, visit our Nehemiah Reset website at nehemiahreset.org. To watch more videos about this subject and other cultural issues of the day, click on the Training and Resource menu item and go to the Cultural Video tab. I hope you learned a little about how our enemies might use our own technology against